Okay, team collaboration. Me, Ahmed, and Sally. We are three working in one organization, and we are writing the process for how to do design. That's it. And another team member who is maybe call him Mahmoud. He is another team, and we just hand him a list of 40 items to check before he ships the release of the product. You know what Mahmoud has said? Okay, I'll do it out of compliance, but I really have inputs for that. I think that these things are not that good. We told him, okay, for this process version, you have to comply, and in the next process version, we'll take into consideration your notes. You know, at that time, at the organization I work for, we release one process version every year. So whatever he says will be implemented or integrated into the process maybe after a year and a half or something like that. Mahmoud was busy filling this checklist to get compliant with the process until someone from the team members came across him. Mahmoud, what are you doing? Oh, I'm trying to do this nasty stuff. Oh, don't. I have one already filled. Take it. This is how they worked around it. They did not get integrated into the team. They did not feel that they are part of this change, so they just worked around it. The process will not work for us. This is something that is said once you accept that parts of the team members are disengaged from process definition or from agile adoption. Okay, project visibility. Of course, there is a lot of problems that we face in the visibility of progress in software process improvement, in usual software projects, right? We usually keep complaining about we cannot see how are we progressing, right? When are we going to finish? Managers keep asking this question a lot, and developers say, don't keep nagging for status. When we finish, we'll let you know. So this is the typical case in software projects, and it's also a typical case in software process improvement. The scope is vague. There are a lot of risks. It involves mind shift and organizational change. How are we going to finish? When are we going to take this certificate of being agile and compliant? I don't know. Don't ask me. When I finish, I'll let you know. But this is a problem because one of the basic rights of senior managers is to know the status. It's his or her right to know, because there is a lot of expenditure in this area, and you have to feel this kind of safety that he is enhancing the organization, not wasting lots of months of work without seeing any kind of progress in this regard. Okay? Unexpected impediments. This happens a lot in software process improvement. This area is full of impediments that you cannot even think of. These are some of them. The product owner, the new product owner that we have assigned, knows nothing about analysis. The coach is very harsh with the team, causing a very bad atmosphere and pressure, maybe morale inside the team. Senior management would not spend a penny on new tools. There is no budget for that. So it's better go for open source tools, maybe find your way with Excel sheets. Do whatever you want, but we will not spend a penny on this. These are all kinds of impediments, and you'll face a lot more when you try to change your organization. You'll face everyday impediment of some kind. What would be the solution? I'll have to say that all these problems have been faced before in software development. Vague scope, this is very usual in software development. Visibility, this is also very usual. Impediments, we find all types of impediments in our way while developing new products. So why not thinking of running software process improvement, agile adoption projects in a more agile way? It's really astonishing for me that people kept thinking maybe 10 or 11 years on how to do agile adoption the best way, and they never thought to run it in an agile way. The best that I have read is for Mike Cole in his excellent book. I just forgot its name. Succeeding with Agile. He has dedicated one complete chapter for how to iterate through Agile adoption. And this is the best thing that was just close to what I'm saying. But iterating to something needs a clear scope. A clear scope needs to be defined. To define a scope, you need something to hold this definition, like user stories in software. How are we going to do that in software process improvement? There are still gaps that need to be filled. Okay. Now, what is a process improvement? It's an iterative and incremental approach to manage process improvement projects. This is the very basic definition of the method. And how we are partitioning the scope into user story-like increments and managing the process using project management, agile project management techniques. Very simple, very straightforward. If you are good at Scrum, I think you can just take the presentation and go home. You'll get whatever else in the presentation without reading anything more. What is a process increment? This is a formal definition of the process increment. A process increment is a process improvement chunk. We couldn't find something better than that. A process improvement chunk, which can be implemented in a relatively small time. I'm changing the organization. This is tough. This is not easy. But I'm requiring the team to change whatever they do in 2 weeks. This is not that easy. And still provide value for the organization. This is the key here. Whatever we do in 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, it should provide value, and we should verify that we can feel this value. Those of you who have been working with user, are you aware of user stories, right? User stories. Okay. That's why I'm describing requirements in a lightweight fashion. There is first, we have themes. Themes is a group of related user stories. A user story can be very big, so its name is epic. And an epic can be further decomposed into smaller user stories. This is the way requirements are described in Scrum, or not, it's an XP practice. This is the way they describe requirements. It's lightweight, capturing techniques for requirements right from the mouth of the customers. And we have managed to write things in the same way. We have process areas, something like requirements engineering. We have decomposed this into process increments. Some of these are very big, so we have further decomposed it into other process increments. We have done that for Agile adoption, Scrum plus XP. We have done that for Scrum only. We have done that for Agile and CMI, level 2 and level 3. We have all these process increments already written. Let us take some examples about that. Release management, release planning. This is the very first step that the team does when planning for a new release. There are, this one example of a process increment has 3 constituents. First, the name of the increment. How are you going to name it? Then, the relative size of the increment. Are you aware of the planning poker technique for sizing user stories? Okay, excellent. It works here as well. Actually, the excellent presentation that my colleague talking about the presentation was here. The second one. Okay. He was talking about time boxing estimation of the tasks of the media project that we are doing. Actually, here we do not need to time box. We can estimate. Things can be estimated. If I'm estimating how will it take time, not time, how will it take for the team to implement release planning, I can give it a relative weight. Then we have conditions of satisfaction, very similar to those written for user stories. What do you mean by release planning? What exactly should the team exhibit and show for you as a consultant so that to approve that this process increment is done? We have written all these details on paper and presented them to the team to say that, okay, I'm the product owner, you are the development team, you should implement this process increment, and I should review it. Of course, after we talk a little about what does that mean. About the relative size of the increment, this number 8 does not indicate that it is 8 days, 8 hours, 8 months. It doesn't indicate anything. It just indicates that it has a relative weight just larger than another increment, which is 5 or 3. It could be harder because it introduces some new concept. It involves a mind shift. It involves the whole organization. It should be implemented in breadth. It has a high level of automation. It needs to be automated. So all these things we think about when we just give a size like this for the increment. As you see, a daily standard would take a 2. Version control, no, this is a long stuff. It takes 8. Sprint tracking. Sprint has many process increments. This is one of it. And guess what? Define VOP, the voice of the process. VOP is one thing which is related to implementing Six Sigma projects. And we have defined process increments to how to implement Six Sigma defined projects on teams. And we have used them very well, so we have done well with this. Okay. Now, if you have maybe Scrum defined in about 30 of these increments, wouldn't this be much better in planning your Agile adoption project? It would be. Wouldn't this be much better in the visibility of the project? Of course. Have we defined the specifics of how we are going to implement Scrum? Do you know how many flavors Scrum have? How many? Scrum is defined in 20 pages, and every year they are removing details from these 20 pages. I've asked Mike once, why are you doing that? You should enhance Scrum by introducing good practices in these 20 pages. He said, no. We are very keen to keep Scrum very high level and leave people, practitioners, define how are they going to do these specific things. So this way, we have defined literally what should be done to introduce Scrum in the organizations. Of course, this can change. This is the very initial set of things that should be done. But working with the team hand in hand, we have came to redefine many things of those. Okay, slicing or splitting process increments. If you have a big user story, what should you do about this? I cannot implement it in one iteration. It takes a long time. I have to split it. How do you split this? The best practice say, or the typical way of doing this says that you have to split user stories across all layers. So a user story, a typical web project user story has a part in GUI design, a part in presentation layer, some other part in services or business logic, and something that should be implemented in the database layer. If I'm going to split the user story, I have to split it this way and this way, so that to provide value.